Alright, in this last video, I'm going to show you how we use the loft command. Oh, sorry, not the loft command, the sweep command. Now, like the loft command, the sweep command requires multiple sketches to make it a reality. In this case, it only requires 2 sketches to make it happen. So, we need to draw, first off, the shape that you want to follow, and then the path that you want to follow. So it's 2 things, a path and a shape. Okay, so I like to start by generating the shape usually, because that kind of lets me know where my path is going to be. So I'm going to click Sketch. And what I want to do is I want to make a hexagonal shape come up off the top of this and go across. I'm just going to click here, and I'm going to set mine up to go right from the middle. So I'm going to click Hexagon. I'm going to come here, and I want it right in the middle, so I'm going to grab it. Perfect. And we can see that I accidentally made that 13. Well, I don't want it to be 13, so I'm going to hit the escape button so I can get back to my pointer. And I'm going to make that, not 16, 6. And now I'm going to dimension this circle here. And I want it to be kind of small, just 1 inch in size. And hit a check mark. And so now I have the shape that I want to follow. Okay? Now I need to create the path. So now I'm going to click Sketch, and this is a little bit tricky because what I want the path to do is I want it to come from here to go over there, but there's no surface there I can sketch on. So what do? Well, this is where these work planes that we were talking about working off of come in really handy. Now because I worked from the origin and I'm spreading out, I can use one of these work planes. Which work plane connects from this dot all the way across this thing? Well, let's look. If we look at the top work plane, you see that on the bottom there, and it's flat. I don't think that's what we want. If we look at the front work plane, it looks like it goes right across the middle of the thing, kind of like what we want. That's probably the right answer, but let's look at the right one just in case. Now if we look at the right work plane, it looks like it's more cutting from this dot to that dot, or corner to corner. So we don't want that. So we do want the front work plane. So I've created the front work plane. I have it. I'm going to click Front. And I'm going to pull my thing down just a little bit, just so I can still see my dot. And now what I want to do is I want to create the path. Now I could create a fancy path if I wanted to and have it go in all kinds of ways. The only thing that you have to watch for when you're creating a path is that you've got to watch and make sure that when you're creating it, you don't create something that doubles back on itself. Because the sweep command wants to have room to work. So if you were to create a circle that fell back in on itself, it wouldn't work good. So make sure you give it room to work. Alright, so now I want to make it here. Oh shoot, it's not lining up. So what can I do? I want this dot right here, but it doesn't recognize that there's a line. Up here is a command called Project Geometry. Sorry for the buzzer. We're going to go ahead and finish this up because we're almost done. We're going to click Project Geometry, and I'm going to click this line. And what it did, and actually I'll just click the whole thing, and what it does when you click Project Geometry is it brings all these lines onto our sketch. Okay? So now I'm going to click that Arc command again, and I want to start here, and I want to end there. And it worked out great. Okay? Now, so I know exactly how big I want it, I'm going to send myself back to my front view, and I'm just going to decide my size here. Okay? The important thing is I want to make sure that this can sweep around it well. Alright, so now I'm going to send myself back to isometric. I'm going to zoom in with the roll of the mouse and check mark it, and we're done. I have a shape and I have a path. So now I come and click Sweep, and it says Face and Sketch Region to Sweep. So I'm coming in and I want to sweep you, and I want to sweep you. I want to make sure I pick both parts. Notice how it got red and it says Sweep Path. Well, it wants to know what am I following. So I'm going to click the Sweep Path, and I'm going to click this, and let's see if it takes it. It's red, so that's not a good sign. Let's see what happens. Yep, it didn't work. So most likely what we have going on when we look at it is that it's angling in on itself just a little bit, and it doesn't like to do that. Okay, so see how it's kind of angled here? Well, it's because that arch is angled and it doesn't like that. So let's go back to sketch 5 and change this a little bit and try to get it to be a little bit flatter and see what happens. There we go. See how as soon as I made that flatter it worked? That's what I was warning you about how it can, if it turns in on itself too much, it doesn't work. All right, so there's our sweep command. Good luck.